Hi, welcome to the CrafteeManatee. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this mug rug for beginners. This is part of my Crochet for Beginners playlist, where in the first 6 videos I taught you step by step all of the basics that you're going to need to get started crocheting. So now that you know the basics, you're ready to tackle your first crochet project. This mug rug is very beginner friendly. It only uses single crochet stitches throughout the main part, and then we add on these tassels at the end, and I'll show you how to do that step by step. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more crochet patterns and tutorials, and share this video with a friend who you think would like learning how to crochet as well. Here are the materials that you're going to need to crochet this mug rug. First, you're going to need about 10 grams of worsted weight yarn and a crochet hook that goes along with your yarn. As you can see here on my yarn packaging, it tells me that I need a 5mm crochet hook or the letter H, so that is exactly what I have grabbed. And we're also going to need scissors and a tapestry needle for cutting off the yarn tails and weaving them in at the end. Alright, let's go ahead and get started crocheting our mug rug. Feel free to pause the video at any time if you need to go back to those 6 original videos to relearn any of the techniques used. So let's get started by making a slip knot. And inserting our hook through and pulling tightly. And now we are going to chain 16. So remember to chain, we're going to yarn over and pull that through. And we're going to do that 16 times. So I'll meet you back here after we have completed this chain. Now we are going to make our first row of single crochet stitches. So we are going to skip that chain next to the hook. That will not count as a stitch. So we are going to single crochet 15 along this chain. So skipping one, we'll insert our hook through that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops on our hook. And we're going to repeat that for 15 single crochet stitches, and I will meet you back here once we're at the end of this row. Once you have reached the end of that chain, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. So now we are going to work another row of single crochet stitches, but this time we'll be working through the front and back loops of each stitch instead of just through the chain. So we're going to skip that turning chain and insert into the first stitch here. And we want to go through both the front and back loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we're going to continue that all the way along this row, and I will meet you back here after we have single crocheted 15. And that row that we just worked is the same row that we're going to repeat for the rest of our mug rug. So we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and single crochet in every stitch across, and we're going to do that for 13 more rows. So that's going to be a total of 15 single crochet rows because we have already worked 2. So I will meet you back here after we have finished those 13 more rows of single crocheting 15 across. Once we are done with all 15 of those rows, we can go ahead and fasten off the yarn. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then cut off a yarn tail and pull through. Give it a tug to tighten it. And here is the main part of our mug rug. And now we will weave in these yarn tails. So go ahead and thread your yarn through your needle. You can pick either yarn tail to start with. And then we are going to insert our needle here and go through some of these single crochet stitches. And then pull our needle through. Skip one stitch going in the other direction so it doesn't pull out. And repeat the same thing. And pull through. And do that one more time in that original direction. Now we can cut that yarn tail off. And now go ahead and repeat that on the other side. And I'll meet you back here to start adding on the tassels. This is also a good example to show how crochet stitches are a little bit shorter than they are wide. We worked 15 stitches in each row, and we worked 15 rows. So you might think that that would get us a square, but in crochet that is not the case because those stitches are a little bit shorter. Your yarn packaging will tell you the number of stitches and rows that you need to work to get a certain size, but just keep that in mind as you continue crocheting. To make the tassels, we are going to need to cut our yarn into small strands, and then we will attach those onto the side of our mug rug. So to make these small strands, I like to just grab the yarn like this and wrap it around my fingers. And just do that over and over again. And for this mug rug, we are going to need 36 of these strands. So just wrap it around your hand 36 times. Up and back counts as 1. So just continue doing that until you get to 36, and I'll meet you back here for the next step. Now that I have wrapped this yarn around my hand 36 times, it's time to cut the yarn strands. You could choose to do this in smaller sections if you're having trouble getting all 36 around your hand. You also want to make sure not to wrap too tightly to cut off circulation to your fingers. But once you're done with that, we can cut the yarn tail off. That's the part that is connected to our yarn ball. And then we're going to cut along the bottom here. So we're just going to cut through all of the strands along the bottom. So be careful not to cut your finger. You could also cut like in the middle or something like that, wherever you're most comfortable. And now we have all of our yarn strands that will become the tassels. Now we are ready to start attaching these tassels. So as you can see on this finished mug rug right here, we have 6 tassels on each side, and we start a little bit down from the corner so that it's not right on the corner. But this is the idea. We're adding 6 tassels evenly spaced on each side, skipping those corners. So we're going to take our base right here and take our hook and insert through one of these stitches to the side. So as you can see, I skipped that most corner stitch right there and just inserted right in here into that second stitch. Now I'm going to take 3 yarn strands that we just cut and hold them like this. You want to kind of find the middle and loop it around. And now insert your hook through those strands. This can take a little getting used to, but you are going to pull all 3 of those loops through. And this is what it's looking like right now. You don't want to pull these tails all the way through. And now we are going to yarn over with all of those strands. So again, this can take a little getting used to. Make sure to keep your tension loose so that you have room to pull through. And we're going to grab all of those yarn strands and pull them through. And give it a tug. And we have one tassel. And we're going to do that 6 times across. You can go ahead and add one to the other side right here, about 1 stitch in. And that way you know where your beginning and end is. And I'll show you how to make that tassel one more time. We're going to loop those 3 yarn strands around our finger, loop them around our hook, pull through, yarn over with everything, and pull through. And pull it tightly. And now we are going to go ahead and add 4 more tassels here. You want to just make sure that they are evenly spaced between these two. So you'll skip a little bit of space, make 1, 2, 3, and 4 tassels. And I'll meet you back here once you have all of those tassels completed on this side. This is what our tassels will look like once we are done. And now just go ahead and do this same thing to the other side here. Just rotate it around and add 6 tassels on this side. And I will meet you back here for some of our final steps on this mug rug. Now that we have attached all of our tassels, we're going to go ahead and trim them up. So I'm going to use 2 fingers as a reference here from the base of our tassel, and I'm just going to cut off the excess yarn tails. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always clean it up at the end, but I'm going to use those 2 fingers as a gauge and just cut them all off. So I will meet you back here after we have done that on both sides of our mug rug. You could choose to be done with your mug rug at this point if you like the way that the tassels look without the yarn frayed, but I'm going to show you how to get this look of the frayed yarn ends if you want this look instead. To fray the yarn ends, we are simply going to take our needle and insert it into the base of one of these yarn strands. And you can see you're kind of separating out all of those individual strands of yarn. And you're going to just pull. And you're going to do that for every yarn strand on every tassel until we have all of our yarn strands frayed like this. So just continue doing this and I will meet you back here to show off our finished mug rug. And here is our finished project. I hope you enjoyed today's video learning how to crochet a mug rug for beginners. If you did, make sure to stick around for more crochet patterns and tutorials. You can also find me on Instagram at the CrafteeManatee, and you can find all of my patterns on Ravelry, Rippler, and Etsy. Thanks for watching. Bye.